All right, guys, what's up? We're live. Gonna go over through some stocks, get that going. Please hit that like button. I appreciate it. And we have Nvda earnings as well this week at the end of today. So if you want me to live stream that, just please hit the thumbs up button. Really appreciate it. Let me just set a goal on this thing and then we'll get going through the little levels. Let's see here. All right, cool. All right, so let's go through the live stream. We'll go through the levels. Just want to show you guys, looking on here, year to date, we're up $87,000. Our biggest gain so far, UNH, we're up over almost $35,000. And Tesla, we're up over $12,000 on them just scalping. So UNH and Tesla are my biggest ones. But this month so far, we've had a solid month. We're up over $10,000 and we can contribute most of that to UNH and Tesla. Now I trade those stocks the most. They definitely, for me, are stocks that I like to live stream. I like to day trade. And I feel like I have the most success with those. That was this month. And then if you look at just year to date, we're at 87,000. When I was in 2024, we were ended the year around $79,870. So it's kind of cool how it's been about 8 to 9 months and we've surpassed that now. So we're starting to get the hang of this, doing well here. 87,000 approaching 100,000 this year. That's our goal. I wanted to hit some of the other things that I think are important. Looking at some of the news, we have UNH, which is a stock that I day trade all the time, has really been selling off. And just breaking down the news on this, we'll bring up the Webull charts, but I just wanted to use the news tab here for this. It's showing that with UNH, they're probed by DOJ over prescription management services, MDs, reimbursement, investigated by the U.S. Justice Department. So it's going to bring some negative news on it. Whether this is true, etc. I just focus on, is it positive, is it negative, and could it be a negative catalyst? And it's just talking about DOJ is expanding their probe into their prescription management services, and that explains their recent sell-off from 309 down to 308. We'll leave this up just in case we need it, if we need it for other news articles, but we're going to use Webull to go over the charts because I do think Webull just does a better job just for the charting aspect of it. So we'll take a look at that right there. All right, so looking at UNH, we'll break this down first. Something I'm watching, something I always like to just keep in mind when I am doing this is I like to look at the previous levels because 298 does seem like a nice support level. I could imagine we get some sort of bounce here. I almost bought just in the pre-market, buying a 298 and just letting it play out until 930. But I used to do that back in the day, and I just don't want to do that today. I don't know what it's going to be like until 930. And I don't want to be caught holding the bag or hoping it goes up. So I'm just going to let it play out. And we'll just see where it goes from there. I think that's okay at the end of the day. It's easier for me to scalp and make money if I just wait until the market actually opens and then just go from there. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at this. Oh, is that for Nvidia, Jay Young? The plus or minus? All right, so we've only reviewed Nvidia's, UNH so far. We're just going over that probe news. And one of the big things I noticed right off the bat is there was a ton of support just in this range. So this is something that I will be paying attention to at the open. I want to see, we're either just going to blast up or we're going to see this 297 all the way down to 294. There's very thin wick. And if you look at previous support, looking at this, you have to go back at least a month to even get a chance to see what it did. It hasn't even touched that. But the thing that stands out to me on the 1 month, you see this green line, you have the 200 EMA bouncing right off this 200 EMA. But this does look very bearish. I mean, right now you have this flag that is forming. So we will see on the open how this wants to form. Are we going to continue to sell off? And if we do for UNH, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I think 290 will definitely be a spot that I'm going to be watching. Let me just show you looking at this. It's right around here is where I'm wondering if we do continue to sell off, are we going to have a little bit of support here, right? That 294, 293 range. And we'll see how it does from there. The thing with scalping, Jay Young, and for those of you who don't know, Jay Young does a lot of options. I do a lot of scalping. If you join our WAP, you'll see that. Scalping requires a high amount of capital if you're trading stocks like UNH. So because I trade with a ton of capital, it's easier for me to make money. Versus if you're using options, you can use a lot less, but you really got to get the moves right versus just getting 50 cents to $1, $1.50, $2 point moves. So big bear flag potentially on UNH. It might bounce on here. I mean, it's only been 1 day with that news, and everybody in the news so far is saying how this is a catalyst. It's not even like actual news that they're going bad, etc. So looking here at 298, you had a bounce here, and now it's trying to consolidate here. But if it does break, I could see it starting to sell off. Let's hit the semiconductors because we have Nvda earnings today. That's going to be a big factor as well. Looking at that, we have all-time highs in the SMH at 302. And I think it's important just to realize that, like with the SMH and Nvidia, just kind of sit tight, let it play out today. I don't really see, it's going to be range bound anyway, so maybe you can look for the high and look for the low. But I'm not touching Nvidia until I see earnings. I'm going to live stream that later on. If you do, please hit that thumbs up button. I definitely want to check out the how it moves in the after hours. Now, it's very difficult for me to buy Nvidia and scalp it, considering I have shares so much lower. But I'm willing to do it if it's going to be moving very volatile. But it's going to have to be a big move. So that's something I'll be looking for. Looking at the SMH, we are trading like this in this range right now from 284 to 297. Just be smart. If you're going to be long in these positions, you really got to be careful. You really have to make sure that when you're trading this, SMH needs to hold above $298 per share. If you're going to be trading any of the semiconductor stocks, to see that you have continuous momentum within that range, that is something that is very important. Look for this support level and then pushing up higher. That's what I'd be looking for. But in conjunction, you're going to have to look at your big dogs. Nvidia has a spotlight on it today with earnings, and it's got to get above this 285 level. If it can get above this, then okay, that's a go. It's obviously retesting this right before earnings, and if it has a beautiful earnings, spectacular, etc., institutions like it, then we can get that bounce above. But if it's not above 284, I'm not interested. If you're going to pull back, it's going to have to pull back to 267. That's a very big move when you think about it. That's over 8 to 9%. Jay Young, I think you were saying the projected is 6% on earnings. If it's 6%, 170 would be your support level. Seeing where it's going to go on that. All right. Hitting the rest of the semiconductors while we're at it, just because we covered SMH, we're covering Nvidia. MU is actually breaking out of this downtrend since August 12th to the 13th. I like to see if we can hold the spotlight here at 115. 115 is holding. There is that level right in this range. This is where it is starting to hold. And it is nice to see if we can get that bounce potentially. But still till right now, this is what I see. This is how I see, just drawing it out a little bit better. I see rejection points on MU. just like that. Until it gets above that, I'm not interested. Then it's going to start trading within 115 to 110, that zone. So please be careful if you're trading within that. Watch your SMH, watch Nvda, and go from there. AVGO, $300 per share. This was such a buying opportunity earlier in the year at 133 in April. You have a nice double. If you're trading this long term, the easiest way to trade something like this is to draw it out on a long scale and then buy when it's in the middle of the channel. So sometimes I'm not buying AVGO, but this is just for people that want to get into it. I'll look at it like this, and I will look at it on a long-term chart. I will draw at both levels. And what I'll do is put this right in the middle. And then if it goes into the middle of the channel, you can start dollar cost averaging in. Do I recommend this right now while it's trading at 300? No, absolutely not. That's one way to trade AVGO. I would just keep an eye on it for now. Let's break down Tesla. This is a stock that I'm watching. Whether you're a Tesla bull or a Tesla bear or not, you cannot deny that Tesla is about to have a breakout moment. The only thing that's holding it back is this $368 per share. That needs to be broken. Get rid of these levels just to make it a little cleaner. Looking at this 368 level, we have resistance up here. That's your only really point of contention. 357 and 368 right up here. So the way I look at it is we are trading within this zone. If we can hold this 350 level, this is a strong psychological level. If we can hold it, we are stair-stepping up, which looks beautiful. Looking at this level, we are stair-stepping up. That's what you want to see for a stock that's bullish. So I'm going to be looking to play bounces off of 350. If we can get that bounce of 350, that'll be excellent. Right at the open, pull back, consolidate, boom, right off the top. Stop loss below there. You have the previous resistance around 346, 347 that held the support. I'm going to be a little tighter with this, 350 to 349, watching that for a move higher. That is how I'm going to play Tesla, with the idea that 368 is my resistance level, trying to get a move all the way up to here. So I want to see this move today, hopefully. Going to pull back 350, push back up into the 360 range. It's really not that far out when you think about it. It's only a 5% move up. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Let's hit the rest of the Mag 7 while we're at it. Let's hit Google. Google stock on the long-term trend right now is trading so beautiful. We called this out in April. It's so, like, you know, on the WAP, I've been calling this out since the beginning of the year. I made a video on Google saying this is the stock that you should be buying for the rest of the year. When it was around $150 per share, we are up over almost 50% on this stock. You know, my WAP costs $5 to $10 a month. That was an excellent call out. So looking at that, here we go. We're trading up on this level, waiting for the news to come out on their companies, whether they're splitting, etc. This is what we're looking for. So 206. And right now, I'm going to continue to just hold and just see where we're at with that. Oh, Jay Young, I do see your XYZ stock. Pretty cool. I'll review that after this. I just want to put the link to the WAP within this before we go. Let me just see here. Here we go. Invite people. Copy link. Perfect. We'll just put it in here. There it is. There's the link. All right, cool. So guys, look at Google stock. We're just reviewing this. We're pulling up on Google. I'm just going to continue to hold this. I have shares down at 140, so we'll just continue to watch. Right now, I'd stay away from it while you're trading at the top of this channel. Let's put you into perspective using the 3 lines I like to use, whether you're dollar cost averaging, buying in then on these yellow dips, and that's it, continuing to hold on them. I would not go crazy on that. I want to hit, let me switch this over. Let's go to my watch list. Let's switch over to, this is not the one I want either. There it is. Let's switch over to Amazon. Amazon stock is trading within 228, looking for this resistance here. Just be cautious if you're trading Amazon. We have this area that we are trading in within. Around $230 per share would be your resistance above, and then looking for scalps at 225. Nice and easy with that one. Apple is making higher highs right now, 235. Excellent pullback. We got to get above that range right now. Microsoft is another stock I'm watching. This stock is really selling off. I think 500 is the buy on this, but I have shares again in the low 300s. So for now, I'm just continuing to watch, but I do see that we have multiple points of bouncing at 500. But if we get a negative catalyst, something to bring the overall markets down, this easily could sell off. And whenever you have a big move like this, a violent move from 500 to 560, it's going to retrace. So that's healthy, no problem. But look at the percentage that it pulled back. I mean, it's pulled back over 10%. But if you go year to date, it's really not that ugly because you went from 340 up to 554. So you just got to be realistic. If you're going to options, okay, sure. You're up 60% since April. So definitely be cautious watching that. I'm going to continue just watching it. I'm not going to add anything. I'm not going to try to scalp Microsoft. I think there's better opportunities out there, and that's really what you need to focus on when you're going to be doing this. Looking at Qs pop from 401 to 580. I just want to give it to perspective because if we get a pullback, we have September coming, we have October coming, are normally red. The overall QQQ is up 42%. So you have 42%, something good to watch that if we get a pullback, it's okay. It's healthy. It's not a big deal. So overall, looking at this, we can see that Qs 560 up to 583 is really the level that I am watching. We're trading within this zone. All eyes on Nvidia today. That's what I want to see. All right, next, I want to break down. We did Qs, Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, BBAI. Oh, it's good. Meta first. Meta 800 had this flag, head and shoulders pattern forming. Now it's starting to sell off. BBAI, I want to see, are we going to get a break? So BBAI, I'm being patient, waiting for this thing to fail. It is trading within this $5 range to about $6. It's at the bottom of it. The trade that I'd like to look for is puts. I want to see, can we sell below the 490, retest $5 per share, and then make a move lower. That's the move I'm looking for BBAI. Because looking at the long-term chart on this, we had shares around $3.50, and then we sold around $6. So we're going to be looking for the same entry around $4 or lower to get an entry within them. Target was consolidating within this range, and now it's starting to sell off. Well, I want to get back on the boat of BBAI, so I'd like to see it pull back a little bit. I guess it's selfish from my perspective. I just want to get back in with shares. I'm not buying high yet. I got to wait. So Target looks awful. It's really sold off big time. It's had some bounces from 98 to 177, but right now this looks like a massive bear flag that is finally starting to fail and reject. So just looking at this right here, I want to see this pull back and then come back down to about $75 per share. That's really the level that I'm watching for Target. I will be interested if we can pull back that much. I just want to show you where I'm coming up with this level right here. $75 to $80 per share is really where I'm looking, because this is the point where we did have some resistance down around $75 to $70 per share. So $75 to $80 per share, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I would love to see. All right, let's take a look. Next stock, we did MU. We hit those big ones. We go back to the recently viewed. Let's go over XYZ. You want to see XYZ, huh? Block. Time frame, I use the 1 month or 3 month to zoom out, and then I use the 5 day, 5 minute, or the 1 month, 4 hour time frame. I like to use that as well. All right, let me move this over. Here we go. So I'm just going on the WAP. I just want to see what you're looking at with this review of this stock. Let me just see here. 55, 60, 290. Oh, so Block is basically a portfolio technology financial company, including Square, involving Bitcoin. Interesting. Okay, cool. Oh, and the Cash App too. Okay. So Block is interesting. Trade at 78. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to wait for a little bit of a pullback. Let's see where 200 EMA lies. On the 1 year, it's pulling back to 70 on that. Let me see, 55, 60. Yeah. I actually do like this. We have this nice bullish momentum. We're consolidating in this zone. And right now, Block is going to have to hold this level right here. If it cannot hold $72 per share, then we're going to have a level start to break down, which could be potentially all the way down to $62 to $63. So it's definitely something to watch out for. Let me see here. Oh, XRP, we've been buying this in the long-term crypto portfolio. Just keep in mind, it is still rejecting. It is trading within this wedge. I got a feeling that it is going to trade within this wedge until it gets all the way down to like 270 or 285, until it gets squeezed. So we'll have to wait and see. C3AI, this stock, guys, I've been telling you, be careful with this stock, because when it sells off, it likes to sell off. I know the WAP likes to day trade this this stock. So just be very cautious. $43. Yeah, $55, right? I feel like this stock easily is AI stock that doesn't really make any money yet. So it's strictly a day trading stock, but you have a move down to $10. That's what I'm waiting for. When we get to $10 and we get to this zone, this is what I'm waiting for. So I'm going to continue being patient. I want to see it get retested down to this 14.5 level. And once we get down to that level, that would be nice to see. Yeah, but I think when it comes down to Block, I think you have time. I mean, I feel like this is like maybe a month out. You know, you're gonna have to really see a pullback here. I mean, you're looking for this level right here, which is understandable, but you have to think, like, if we're gonna pull back that much from $78 down to 55, it's a 30% pullback. So if you're gonna buy puts on C3AI, I think your best odds is to wait until you get a retest of these levels. So you want to see it pop up from like $17 up to this resistance level around 18.5. Let it be up 5 to 10%. Look for that push up so you can have a margin of safety going into this. So if you're buying up here, you can have your stop loss like above 18.50, and then you'll be able to look for this move. So now your risk reward of stop loss versus profit is right there. Oh, you're looking for calls? Of course, JM. Then look for 16 flat then. 16 flat maybe? 15.50 if we can get a pullback. Put yourself in a safer range. UPS, I still have not gotten myself to be able to buy shares of this. I don't know if I'm going to regret this or not. I'm just looking at it. I just can't tell. I mean, the 5 year, it is bouncing off of this, and rightfully so. I mean, here's the bounce right here going for this. This is where it would definitely be looking for. So I'd definitely be cautious with this. So watching UPS, we'll see if it holds this $87 per share. I can imagine we might start getting a bounce here, but overall, it's just curled over. Like the stock is dead. It's like dead money at this point. SMCI, see if we see any other opportunities here. Right now, no. I mean, SMCI, $41, down to 45. It is consolidating. It just sold off. It looks like the move has ended, so we'll have to see. It's got to get above $50 per share for me to even be interested. It's got to show some signs of life. So we're just going to put this around $48 per share, set alerts, and then go from there. I think that would be the best way to kind of go about it. Nothing wrong with that. Let's move on to the next stock, BMNR, and then we'll move to PLTR, because I know we got a lot of PLTR fans within the group. So looking here, this is our trading range for BMNR. At $40, $41, I wouldn't be afraid to take a stab. $71 feels overpriced. I'm going to wait for that pullback to $40, $41, and then push back up. Let's go over PLTR. Let's go over everybody's favorite stock, the man with the hair, the CEO. a nice pullback from 189, definitely much needed. I mean, year to date, PLTR was the stock, 63 up to 190. You doubled your money. Congrats to you. Now we are trading on the 1 month time frame. We are starting to move above. You have this 200 EMA sitting right there. But what I would do is 160 is a level that I would see if we can hold. So if we get a pullback to 160, it's an easy way to judge, okay, we had previous resistance points all in this 160 range. And then now, using your levels, can we get a bounce off that 160 to have it following above? Yeah, Nvidia might. I mean, like, if you want to look at Nvidia just real quick, Nvidia is trading all-time highs. It is looking to break out. I mean, this is insane how high, amazing. So, but if you're looking at Nvidia and you zoom in on just the 6-month chart, you could see that we are retesting this 185 level. So just be cautious. You're watching this 185 level. You definitely just need to see, are we going to break above this 185? If it doesn't, look for that 7 to 8% pullback around 170. That's definitely what you could be potentially having. So it is possible. So just keep in mind, you are trading within this range. You are range bound at this point. Yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin. I've really been trading Bitcoin. I've been dollar cost averaging into XRP and ETH. But let's see. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Good. I was just trying to make sure I could bring it up on Webull. Sometimes it's like hindsight's 2020. I remember I had shares at 19,000 per share, and I sold around 55,000. So let me just show you real quick. So I was at 19,000. I sold at 55,000, which is a 200% return, which was nice. But hindsight, could have made almost 550%. It's crazy. The way I look at Bitcoin is there's two ways to do it. Draw out this consolidation here. This nice, basically this ladder up. We're just on a rocket the whole time. And it depends. Are you scalping this? Are you looking to scalp this, Matthew? Or are you looking to, John Matthew, or are you looking to buy this long term? Because if you're looking at strict levels, you really can't go off the past because it's an unknown territory. So just going by this, it does seem that it is starting to pull back a little bit. But I would rather try and buy this, like if I'm going to, mostly HODL, I see. For me, I can tell you personally, I'm not buying Bitcoin. I've been buying XRP and ETH. I've been buying XRP less than 275, and I've been buying ETH anything 4,000 or lower. I like that Tom Lee's pumping it. It's involved with the BM&R. It's got all that. Bitcoin, if I'm going to be dollar cost averaging into this, I'm really looking for points where I am bouncing off of this. This is really the only toe touch line that we have so far, which is not the best because you don't even have like 3 points. But you have to draw it in some kind of range. You have no choice. So this is the range that we're trading in. So you have, let me just draw it out for you. Looking here, you have 76,000. And now basically, if I'm going to add more to Bitcoin, I'm looking for 100,000 flat. Because when you look at 111,000, it's not even a big pullback. If we pull back from 111, it's only like a 10% pullback to get there. So if you're going to dollar cost average, I see you have the 401k starting to get in there. Everybody can start buying them in their retirement accounts. And even when Tom Lee talks about it, how most people don't even have Bitcoin in their retirement accounts or a percentage. So once you start kind of convincing people to do that, you can see there's going to be a difference here. I'm going to continue to wait. I'm not willing to buy this high. I just feel like it's just a risky, there's not enough upside in my opinion. And if you were like day trading it, if you get above 125,000, then people are going to start buying even higher because the ceiling is unlimited. There's no previous resistance level. So for me, I'm going to be patient. Let's see if we get pullbacks down to 100,000. Maybe I start dollar cost averaging in there, but maybe like 20%, 10% of what I actually want to buy in. I'd rather pullbacks. Like, I'm just going to be patient. I'm just going to continue to watch it. Yeah, I have a little bit of Bitcoin, but nothing crazy. But for me, it's just not really a potential buy at this point. It's so high. I mean, you could wait for levels like this, but we don't know. We got to see the price action when it comes down to these levels of 100,000. That's really what we'd be looking for. I know it's not super helpful, but I don't think there's any magic number to give you and predict that where this is going to go. So I'm going to be patient, just wait for 100,000, then I'll make my mind up. At least I can see there were times where it started bouncing off the psychological 100,000 support zone. So that's what I'm looking for with that right now. Got to keep an eye on UNH. UNH is bouncing. I guess that purchase would have paid off. I was going to buy at 298, but I chose not to. So we'll see what it does at the open. We'll see if it can reclaim 300. 300 needs to be reclaimed. If it doesn't, then it's in trouble. Then I can imagine it might start pulling back a little more. Any stocks you guys want me to review before we end this recap? Anything you want, just post it out. We'll look at the charts together. I just reviewed like 30 stocks. CoreWeave, I think you called out CoreWeave before. CoreWeave, I'm just going to sit and watch. I'm interested when it pulls back to $67, $65 per share. I have no interest in CoreWeave. The other thing that interests me, the only thing that interests me about CoreWeave is this. I shouldn't say no interest. I am interested in options in this, in puts. I want to see this. You have a rejection. You have support here at $100 per share. Support at $100 per share. And now that support has turned into rejection at $100 per share. This is your break and retest. Simple strategy to play. So I am looking for this move, and I'll be very interested in playing this. If we get a move up to $100 per share, which is not that much from 93, 4 or 5%, we start consolidating, I'm looking for that push lower. That's what I'm looking for with this stock. And just breaking it down, you're at $93. You push back up. At a 7% move up, look for consolidation, shorting it down. That's what I'm looking for when it comes to CoreWeave. Rocket Lab. Oof. Rocket Lab. I don't trade this stock, so I have no idea. But looking at this is very bullish. And you actually have this long-term forming bullish candle, which is interesting because it's over like months, July 18th, and now it's starting to get above. So very interesting seeing this trade out. But once again, it's got to get above the $53 per share, and then basically you could be moving to the moon after this because there's nothing holding it back if it gets above $53 per share. So I definitely would keep options on it, and if you're going to have an alert set above 53, then you can start trading above that, which would be awesome. NE, NextEra Energy. I mean, this is like a dividend stock. NextEra, I'm not interested in this. This is, this thing sold off and then recovered big time. 44 up to 74. The move is done. The time to buy was basically February of 24. What was interesting was, let me see if NAT's still around. I used to trade this stock all the time. Nordic American Tankers. They basically make no money. They basically just drive oil back and forth through the ocean. I used to trade this all the time around $2 per share, and it's still just dead at this point. Looking at this stock, went up to $4. But it's got resistance at this $3 range. All right, guys, any other stocks? I'm going to live stream the Nvda earnings. That would be cool, I think. I think people would appreciate that. So I might live stream the open today around 9:30. If you're interested, just please hit the like button, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, I'm going to end the live stream. I'll see you guys in the WAP. Just message me. Just check me out over there. No problem. I'll put it in here in case you're interested. Maybe I'll just live stream in the WAP today just for the members. And we'll go from there.